Everybody here is a faith-led online fitness and wellness coach, and a lot of y'all serve women. But one thing I'm hearing on this call is everybody's having an issue with confidence in sales, booking calls from the DM, and then just getting enough leads and traffic to your high ticket offer, right? Cool. Now, a lot of the ladies that I've been coaching over the last 5 years, a lot of them consider their coaching container, it's like ministry for them. And from this call, I feel like everybody on this call, like y'all would agree, it's like the same thing for y'all, okay? But this right here is the shift that's gonna allow you to start getting more sales and being much more aligned when you're doing these activities. Sales is a part of your ministry. Because what do we actually do in ministry? We serve, we lead women to a better version of themselves. We offer physical, mental, and spiritual transformation. And now when you show up in sales activity from that place, it's no longer manipulation. You're no longer convincing people of your value. It's not salesy. Now it's ministry. Now everybody on this call, everybody loves serving in their ministry, in their calling, right? So once you have that shift, now why wouldn't you want to serve more women in your ministry? Now, when we talk about traffic and leads, the more money you spend on ads, the more time you spend on traffic, the more lives you touch, the more women step into their breakthrough through your ministry. Your coaching container is your ministry. Your unique mechanism is your ministry. Your entire sales system is part of your ministry. Because let's be honest, if you don't look at sales as part of your ministry, if you set up ads, or if you was to go viral, if you was to get any type of influx of leads into your system, if you don't have the right mindset when it comes to sales and you still shy away from it, it doesn't feel in line, you don't feel confident, you're not coming from a place of serving, all of those leads that you spent money and time on are not going to lead to more physical, mental, and spiritual transformations through your ministry. Can y'all agree with me? So let's stop looking at sales and ads like pressure and things that are out of alignment. When you start looking at it as purpose, when you start looking at it as ministry, the ministry grows when you show up in service. And yes, these things need to take place in content, and I feel like all of y'all do a pretty good job of that, right? But it has to take place, especially in private conversations that happen outside of the content on your news feed. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all the real secret on how to really start turning your social media into a ministry. Now, everybody on this call has either been to church or you go to church. Everybody here has some experience with church, right? Now, I grew up in a church, and I remember years ago when my mom first took us to church, and the first few Sundays, the pastor would, do the entire service. He'll have his sermon, and then at the end of the sermon, he would say the doors of the church will open. I always remember feeling very nervous, anxious, but everything that he was saying in the sermon, I just felt like, man, like he was talking to me. Like this was definitely for me. Any of y'all ever felt like that? Like the pastor, he or she, during the sermon, you like, yo, like this is definitely for me. And we ended up, of course, joining the church, getting baptized, getting saved. And I remember even moving forward every Sunday, I still felt like he was talking to me. And then every single Sunday, it was the same routine. A selection, sermon, another selection, and then doors of the church are open. And I remember some Sundays not seeing a lot of people get up and walk to the front. And I used to always feel like, man, people that actually get up and go, like, shout out to those people, like they're really courageous. And then one Sunday I went to the back of the church at the end, and I saw the pastor talking to like 10 to 12 people in the back privately. I remember those faces because then the next few Sundays I started seeing those faces. And then inside of Bible study, I started seeing those faces. So I'm like, oh, they must have joined the church. But here's the thing, nobody saw them walk up in the middle of the church and give their life to Christ right in front of everybody. These were conversations that happened privately, and then a decision was made. But the pastor always looked at it like, not I'm being pushy, but I'm being obedient to my calling. And I understand that it's going to be people that need to have private conversations outside of me just saying the doors of the church are open to the entire church. Now listen, sis, when you make that call to action on your carousel, on your reel, or in your story, you may not get everybody and their mama to comment the keyword in your comments. Now, this is how you turn your social media into a ministry and not looking at it from just being salesy, so afraid to run ads with a call to action. Because listen, when you make that piece of content and you have the call to action saying comment this keyword in the comments, listen, sis, everybody's not gonna comment that keyword. There's not going to be so many people that want everybody on social media to know that they're struggling with their weight loss, to know that they're struggling with their mental health, to know that they're struggling with their emotions and their identity. Nobody wants to have those things publicly displayed on your social media newsfeed. But as leaders, yes, it is our job to provide a safe space to be able to have these conversations privately. And when you can put the focus on private conversations and not shy away from sales and look at it from I'm serving, not that I'm selling. When you can look at it like that, now you have a different expectation when you post that call to action in your story. So when you have an entire system that can amplify what you do organically, and also you got ads going that can bring more people to your private conversations, i.e. your DM, now you serving regardless of what you're doing. You still want to post the organic stuff to have that comment, and then you repeat it every single week. It's the same thing every single week like clockwork, the same way that the church does. But the people in the church, they're very clear on what they're called to do. They're very clear on their purpose, and they know that everything that they do is part of their ministry. So yes, sis, I need you to understand that every single thing that you do is part of your ministry.